Hey, I'm Saskia from Pretty Much Geeks, and I have been checking out the SteelSeries Arctis 1. Reviewing the SteelSeries Arctis 1 4-in-1 wireless headset, which boasts the same high quality speaker drivers and mic tech as the Arctis 7, which is a pretty bold claim given that the Arctis 7 is quite a bit over $100 more expensive than the Arctis 1. So it's been fun giving it a go. Let's get into it. So one of the first things you're going to notice straight away is how the air cushions feel. It's really soft and comfy. It's meant to allow a bit of airflow, keep your ears nice and cool, which does mean that it's not very noise cancelling. So the main thing I love about the Arctis 1 is how versatile it is. You've got your audio cable to plug it into your controller, so that works with your PS4 or your Xbox. The thing you're going to use the most though is your USB-C dongle. You have it on this adapter for your PC, your PS4, and you just pop it out and you can plug that straight into your Android phone or your Nintendo Switch, which doesn't really add much on. And I really liked how you just plug it in and it's good to go. You don't have to really mess around with anything. Although it is worth noting that when using it with the Android, for some reason it wasn't putting calls through the headset. But music sounded awesome. A really simple design for skipping songs and pausing is that everything is done with the power button. So if you want to play a song, you just push it once. If you want to pause it, you push it once. If you want to skip, you push it twice. And if you want to go back, you push it 3 times. And I do like that there's not many things to play around with on the headset itself. There's a little switch for muting it, and there's just a little volume dial, and that's really all you've got. So it's pretty impossible to get confused with a dial and a switch. If you're wanting a gaming headset just for your PC and you're into a bit of streaming and you want it to look all snazzy and light up and do cool things, the Arctis 1 is probably not the headset for you, as it doesn't have any RGB lighting except for the power button. Personally, as the appeal of this headset for me is how versatile it is, that I can wear it when I'm going for a walk or a run, listening to music. I can use it at home, I could use it in a cafe playing on my Switch. It's kind of good that it doesn't have any fancy lighting, because I'd feel like a bit of a dork going around in public with light up headphones like, look at me, look at me. The fact that it's just sleek, black, matte is perfect. It looks stylish, it's understated. It's not going to draw the eye when you're sitting on the bus playing a game or listening to music. So I think the fact that there's no lighting is perfect for the purpose of this headset. So it comes with a box saying that it's got about 20 hours of battery life, but I thought the battery life was actually phenomenal. I was really impressed that from a full charge, you can be gaming. Not that I sat there for 20 hours, I turned it off in between. But you can do solid amounts of gaming without having to worry. Unless you work for 25 hours at a time, it's not going to be a problem. Probably the weakest point of the Arctis 1 would be the mic quality. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. Although I think it's probably fair enough for the price when comparing it with the Corsair HS70. We did a mic test comparing it with 4 other headsets, so let's give that a listen. Okay, so it's time to do the audio test. Right now I'm using the mic here for the audio, although it says to put the microphone like right against your lower corner of your mouth. I just don't think this is right. I'm going to try and do this expression actually. Okay, let's see how well I do. No, it's not possible. Let me do some breathing for you. I don't think the instructions are correct. I'm going to put it down here, which is generally where I have my microphones. Yep, I can't hear the wind tunnel. All right, testing out the Arctis 7. This one you can get for around $369 in New Zealand, whereas the Arctis 1 is about $235, although I've recently seen it on sale for around $218, I think it was, which seems like a pretty good deal. The Arctis 7 also comes with the same diagram saying to put your microphone right up here. The microphone, it's like retractable, whereas the Arctis 1 you can actually detach it and plug it back in depending on if you want a microphone or not, which I think is really cool, although I do tend to lose things, so it's a bit risky. So it wants it
right up here. But as you can probably tell, there's the wind tunnel issue. So this is the Razer Kraken. It retails for $99 in New Zealand. I know because this is Jazz's headset, and I've played with her while using this, that this does cause the wonderful wind tunnel effect quite terribly. There's no playback, so I can't actually hear right now. Sorry if it's terrible, but I'm just going to assume that it is and move it down here. But for $99, not too bad really.
And now for the JBL Quantum 400, which you can get for $170 in New Zealand.
So we'll do the close-up test.
Yep, wind tunnel. I just don't believe that microphones are designed to be here without the wind tunnel effect.
And finally, we're testing out the Corsair HS70, which is around $249 in New Zealand. So very similar to the Arctis one, which is around $235. I don't know if that's getting wind tunnely at all, but I can't hear it, so it's no problem to me.
So as you can hear, the Arctis one is a little tinny. The quality is actually identical to the Arctis 7, which is what it claims, so that's good to know. When comparing it with the Razer Kraken, which has kind of this constant buzz going on in the background, the Arctis 7 sounds pretty good. When comparing it to the JBL Quantum 400, the quality isn't quite so good. It's picking up the higher end range of your voice, I guess. It's cutting out all the bass. Not quite as bad as some of the other ones, but when comparing it to the JBL 400, you can definitely hear the difference in mic quality there. Although we did some background noise tests as well, which you can check out.
Okay, so back to the Arctis 1, we're going to test it with some background noise going on. But first, I did think it was worth mentioning. So the little dongle thing, to plug it into your computer, you need this adapter cord. And it's quite long. The computer is sitting right next to me, so you've just got this like super long wire, and I'm not sure what to do with it. And it doesn't come with like a shorter option. Maybe there's a use for such a long one, I'm not really sure. But yes, with your PC or PlayStation, it's quite long, so you got to kind of find a little home for this really long wire. Anyway, let us test out how this is all going to sound with a really noisy Jazz in the background, slamming things, doing some dishes. Oh, yep, that's a bit raucous. These are noise cancelling, but not when something like this is going on. They're really soft. They're meant to let your ears stay cool so you're not getting sweaty while you play, which makes them really comfy, but possibly not as noise cancelling as you might want. But I think the purpose of these is to be able to be used in public and stuff a lot as well, so you kind of do want to be aware of your surroundings when you're out and about. Okay, so testing out the SteelSeries Arctis 7 next. This one has a bit of a price increase, as I said before. It's $369, but apparently has the same mic tech, so we'll see how it compares with the background noise. So yeah, I'll be really interested actually to see how they perform against each other. Hopefully your family isn't quite as obnoxious as this. We're going above and beyond. Oh my gosh. Don't want to hear that. Okay, so now the Razer Kraken, which is by far the cheapest headset. So Jazz is back at it in the kitchen. I wouldn't recommend setting your PC up in the kitchen if you've got a Jazz living in your flat. She's going to be guzzling some milk this time. Maybe this should just be like a food series where you drink a whole bunch of beverages obnoxiously. No, she's dripping it everywhere.
Now it's time for the JBL Quantum 400. So Jazz reviewed this one earlier, and from the mic test, it sounded really good. We didn't test it with background interference at the time, so it'll be really interesting to see how it holds up. Judging from the playback, it's going to be capturing everything. I don't know how distracting it will be, so it'll be really cool to hear. Jazz is really going above and beyond for this one. You kids and your rap music. Oh my gosh. You don't want to see that. I'm so sorry. Are you actually microwaving anything or just pretending? Because I could do with a snack.
And lastly, it's the Corsair HS70. I can't hear any playback, so I'm not really sure. I'm going to put it up here to be safe. This one is the closest in price range to the Arctis one from SteelSeries, so it'll be very cool to hear how the microphones hold up against each other. I feel like Jazz has just leveled it up every time though, so it's it's not necessarily... Oh my gosh, what are you eating? What is that? Ugh. Relish. She's just eating relish by the spoonfuls. It's not even noisy. I don't know what she's doing.
So as you probably noticed from listening to the background noise tests that we did, they're all kind of much of a muchness in terms of background noise cancellation, although I felt like the Arctis 1 and the Arctis 7 did outperform the other headphones slightly in terms of kind of dulling or muting the background noises, but only very slightly. And to be fair, as you can probably also notice, it was a little unfair as Jazz introduced music for the last two and not the other ones, which I think did actually make a big difference. So to be honest, they're all kind of much of a muchness, but I was actually really happy with the performance of the Arctis 1 and the Arctis 7. The mic could be better quality for sure. When you compare it with the JBL 400, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds more like me, where the Arctis 7 makes me sound way higher than my natural voice. And everybody likes to sound a little low and gravelly. So you're not going to get that with the Arctis 1, unfortunately. And if you do want to play around with the settings of your Arctis 1, you just need to download the SteelSeries engine. Really simple. It's what you can use for all of your SteelSeries products, which is really handy.
So this is specifically the Arctis 1 wireless window that pops up when you click on your device, and it comes with quite a few settings. So here's your equalizer. To be honest, I'm not going to play around with this heaps. I'm just going to go straight for the presets. So there's a whole bunch of options here: immersion, entertainment, music, voice. We've got mic side tone, which you can mess around with. You've got your mic volume. Very cool that it has the power option, so you can set how long you want your headset to remain on before it automatically deactivates to save battery power, which is really good for me because I always forget to turn my headsets off, and if they don't have this function, they die very quickly. We've also got dynamic range compression, which is really cool. So all in all, I'm really impressed with the software that it comes with. I wouldn't be looking for much more than that. I think any more options and I'd be getting a little bit of a headache.
So if what you want from a headset is versatility, it to look a bit understated and be fine no matter where you are, for an amazing price given what you're getting, I wouldn't go any further than the Arctis 1. SteelSeries has done a really good job with this one, and I am stoked that I get it.
I'm just babbling here so we can do this background noise test. Look, I'll start telling you about my star sign if you want.